Ladies, let's talk inflammation. Why? Because you need to get rid of inflammation if you want to lose weight successfully. Period. Now, let me ask you, of all the diets, because I know you've tried a lot, of all the diets you've ever tried, have any of them ever targeted inflammation? Or did they just make you eat less? Don't worry, I think I know the answer to that. So let's get one thing out of the way right from the start. I also was making a critical mistake every time I attempted to lose weight. You see, I was ignoring the unknown fact that I was inflamed, and that's a big weight loss killer. And if I'm 100% honest, I wasn't really ignoring inflammation per se, because I didn't even know inflammation was a thing. And my guess is that you probably don't either. Or, if you do, you probably know what inflammation is, or you've heard of inflammation. But what you don't know, what you don't realize, is how interconnected inflammation is with fat storage. And that's kind of crazy. So I'm going to take some time and explain all that to you. So if inflammation is bad, Natalie, why do we even get inflamed? Because, my dear, we need inflammation. See, there is acute inflammation, which is normal and necessary, and it's a process that helps restore balance and healing after an injury or an illness. So my dear little kitty cats like to scratch me because that's how they show their love, apparently. And then when I get the scab, it's kind of red and it's puffy. So that's the body healing itself. That's inflammation, okay? Now, chronic inflammation is bad news. And it's very often caused by the foods that we're eating and don't even realize are irritating us. They're irritating our body. They're creating inflammation. And when we're chronically inflamed, it causes us to be puffy and retain excess fluid, or I should say we retain excess fluid, which makes us puffy. And it just makes us feel and look bigger to begin with, and it actually also slows down your metabolism, okay? Secondly, that's not it, that's not everything. Inflammation worsens your insulin resistance, meaning your body needs to make more insulin. Now, if you've attended my webinar, 3 Steps to Smarter Fat Loss before, you know that insulin is your fat storing hormone. So this is not good, because when you have more inflammation, you make more insulin. And when you make more insulin, you store more fat. Okay? On top of that, inflammation also causes this little hormone called leptin to be less effective. And leptin is the hormone that makes you feel full. So it signals to the brain to let you know, we've had enough to eat, we're good, we're full, so stop eating. So when you're inflamed, your hunger can be out of control because leptin is no longer effective, okay? And you never really feel satisfied. And what happens then is, of course, you just eat more. And since there's so much insulin available to store fat, guess what happens? Okay? So not good. But not done yet. As if inflammation wasn't bad enough already, fat cells actually become little inflammation factories, meaning not only is inflammation making us gain more weight, okay, but the weight we gain actually increases inflammation even more. So talk about a vicious cycle that's happening here in our body, okay? If you can get rid of inflammation, big things happen. Bloating goes away. It goes way down. So you feel thinner right away. Your clothes will fit better. You lose water retention. So you shed weight right away and easily, and you aren't puffy anymore, okay? Also, if energy is an issue for you, being inflamed kills your energy. So once you get rid of inflammation, your energy goes way up. And this is huge for, keeping you motivated, keeping you feeling like you can just get through the day finally. And this also helps you manage your cravings. Because if you're tired, we often get those cravings for those little those things that you just want something to pick you up in the afternoon. So this really helps out. Okay? And these are the two things, the water retention and like the crazy increase in energy, that's the first thing that my clients notice. They lose, within a week, they lose 5 to 8 pounds just from water retention. So this is not fat loss. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be like straight up with you. Inflammation causes you mainly to lose water retention. So this is when clients, lose the 5 to 8 pounds within the first week, because the first thing that we do in the Smarter Fat Loss system is we target inflammation so that we can then lose fat successfully. Okay? So that happens. They lose the weight and their energy is through the roof. So as you'll see, I'm going to share that with you. Clients, they want to take a nap, but they can't because they have so much energy. And I have clients that want to like clean the ceiling suddenly because they just have so much energy. They don't know what to do with it. Okay? So these are the amazing things that happen when you get rid of inflammation. Also, you sleep better, your skin gets clearer, okay? So basically, as you know now, cleaning up inflammation is huge. And without doing that, you can't make much progress in lasting fat loss. Hear that? Okay? Yeah. So now you're like, okay, great, Natalie, I need to get rid of inflammation. So how do I do that? What's the trick to losing inflammation? So here's the thing. When it comes to inflammation, we doctors, or like a lot of people, don't realize that we're actually the ones causing inflammation by consuming certain foods. So what we often do when people realize, oh, inflammation might be a thing, it's like, just take some fish oils or just drink some turmeric tea or sprinkle some turmeric in your smoothie. So those are we usually think anti-inflammatories when we think inflammation. So we go out and we buy the supplements, we forget to take them, or we take them and we think, okay, I've done my part, this is it. But it's not. Because if you're not eliminating the root cause of inflammation, taking some silly supplements is really not going to get rid of the problem. You are not going to get rid of inflammation just by taking fish oils or eating more turmeric. Okay? So if it's not that, Natalie, what do we do? Okay. You need to get rid of the foods that are causing inflammation. Now, this is the thing. There's so many things. There could be so many foods, and there's so many ways that you can target inflammation and reduce inflammation. So these are the things. That's why my Smarter Fat Loss System is a 12-week program, because it's not just like, here, take this one thing and you're going to be okay. I wish it was. I wish I had that magic wand, but it doesn't exist. So the one thing that I can tell you for sure that is going to help reduce your inflammation, and if you've done my 5-day detox to stop carb cravings, you've done this already, okay? The one thing you need to do to reduce inflammation that's also going to support your cravings, because it's going to help manage your blood sugar and it's going to help balance your hormones, you need to really avoid eating grains, okay? Grains are not the devil. Grains are not the worst thing in the world. The problem is that a lot of people are very sensitive to grains. They cause inflammation in their body. There are people that are not as sensitive to grains, and they tend to not have weight issues when they eat them. But if you've tried everything, if cravings are an issue for you, if you think that inflammation might be an issue for you, then it's very, very likely that grains are not doing you any favors. So yes, they can be high in fiber, and yes, they can have some nutrients, but they come attached with a lot of calories, and they will contribute to inflammation. And there's many reasons behind that we're not going to get into today. But it is really, leave out the breads, leave out the flours, all the pastries, the pastas, the rice is a grain. Even though it's a gluten-free grain, it's still a grain. So the best thing is just to get rid of them all and see how your body reacts to that. So that's the big thing that you can do to help fight inflammation. And I think the way that I'm going to help you with this, I sense that there's a 5-day detox group challenge coming up. So stay tuned, because I will be sharing more information about this in my newsletter, in my Facebook group, and in my social media. Okay. But yeah, and keep in mind, inflammation is one of the things that you need to address before you even start with your weight loss efforts or your weight loss program, whatever it is that you're doing. So just by targeting inflammation, it's not going to make everything go away. Okay, so this is where I want to be really clear. And this is why I do the webinar 3 Steps to Smarter Fat Loss, where I teach the 3 steps that my Smarter Fat Loss system is based on. Things like how to eliminate cravings. Inflammation is talked about. I talk about how to switch on your fat burning hormones, okay? And I talk about how you need to eat more in order to actually achieve your weight loss goal. So it's all these things that have nothing to do with cutting calories or using more willpower. Like, these are the real things that you really have to look at if you want to lose weight and keep it off. So if you want to have more information about that, then I included the button underneath the video, so just click on that and you can register for the next webinar that's coming up. It'll let you know once you click on the link, and you can join for free, and we'll talk about all these great things. If you thought today was interesting, there's so much more that you need to learn. And the other thing that I share in my webinar is also how food works in your body and how the different foods that we eat affect your weight loss efforts. Okay, so really cool stuff, and I want to invite you to join. And I know that it's transformative. Like, it really makes such a big difference. Everybody that joined is like, I've had people that invite all their friends to join it after, because it's just so much great information. Okay, so much for me. We'll talk about this more. If you have any questions, you can reach me by email. You can reach me in the Facebook group. You can send me a message on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you want. I'm always happy to hear from you. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye.